And the 5 red lights are on. Jay on pole on the right, Bitto on the left. And we are underway. Looks like it's a pretty decent start from Bitto, actually. Getting a better start from Jay going into turn 1. Going into the windy section now into turn 2. Anyone having any issues at the moment? No, not quite at this stage, which is great to see. 36 laps. Do not worry, guys. We are not on lap 2, on lap 1. I think the game just has a refresh bug, which is something that I could do nothing about really at this stage, as we've got Bitto really trying his best to capitalise on that start, because I think Jay actually caught Bitto napping there into the next couple of turns. So I think Jay wasn't good on the start, but as soon as he got into turn 3 and 4, he did absolutely fine. And we got a few yellow flags. That's a Williams of Nice. I think that's how you say the Williams name of Nice. I think, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is a shame. So we all have to go into the pit lane. And so here we go. We've got Burke and Distinctive having a bit of a lock-up, Burke actually, and Distinctive ghosting a little bit there. I think his AI is still there. So that's probably why, is obviously we're starting to see people move quite a bit here. And DRS is not enabled, just ignore that. And we're seeing a few ghosted cars. So hopefully it's not the lobby desyncing on me. Which, hopefully not, fingers crossed. But we shall have to wait and see, of course. But Jay and Bitto having no such worms at the moment. And the Delta's gone down as well. So Flash is not leading. This is something I hope that they fix in the game at some point. But there we go. And as soon as the positions change, then I can look at the positions. So as far as I'm aware, yeah, I think the positions are the same for the top 3. So Nixana's gained 1 position. Flash has gained 2. We've got TX has gained 1. Pavel gained 2. Bert's gained 2. Verbal has gained 4. Pazik has gained 1. Hydra's gained 2, and Ace has gained 3. So those are your biggest gainers. Your biggest losers: Rage Quit, Set, Sig, Indistinctive, and Nice. Obviously, Indistinctive's AI. So obviously, it's unfair for an AI to be further ahead, of course. So it'll be interesting to see the tyre wear. Right now, if you're stuck behind another car, the tyre wear is probably at not the best, as obviously the softs don't last as long as other tracks, because around Austria on the same lap count, and in Brazil too, which is slightly less laps, you can do soft to mediums. Around here, mediums go up to around 80% really early on, and you will get in punch territories. We've got another yellow flag. That's Mercedes, and that was Ace having a little bit of a spinner, Rooney. So he's not having the best of starts so far, which is a bit of a shame. He was hoping to have a little bit of a consistent starts, but in a way, you know, he hopefully he's going to come back for this. Now this is where we're going to get DRS, and Bitto's already going to take advantage to it. He's going to take the really... I wasn't sure what line he was, but he took a really good line and entry into turn 1. And that's what helped him get the lead. Can Jay fight back? No, we can't. His tyres had a bit of a lock-up there. That is not good for the McLaren driver. Don't forget, penalties will come into effect pretty soon as well. So that is something that everybody needs to watch out for these early stages. Nixana already out of DRS range of the top 2, though. So I don't think he's going to catch up, but he's the one that needs to avoid penalties. As Ace has retired from the session, and I think he retired in the pit lane. I think he's had enough, which I don't blame him, but you don't really want to give up at these early stages of the race. You don't want to do that. But I'm guessing that he just doesn't like being stuck in a lonely position right now. Meanwhile, Rage Quit has had a bit of an off in the Williams into turn 15, past the Aldi section. well, just after the Audi section actually. So that's why TX and Set breezed past them. TX having a really good lap actually, so that's why he's right behind the Mercedes. And one advantage of the multiplayer numbers, you get to see the lovely helmets as well. So I get to do a little bit of a helmet review, which is good news. So Bitto is starting to break away from DRS range, which I think shows how consistent his lap times are compared to Jay. I think Jay is falling off just a little bit. Fastest lap so far, 1 minute 11.9. Jay 1 minute 12.4. So he is, well, he's off by quite a few attempts actually, Jay. He needs to get a move on. But with him having a little bit of less slipstream, that's probably not helped him a little bit. But he may come into his own towards the end of the race. Maybe if I was Jay, maybe the undercut would work best for him. As we got another yellow flag. That was probably someone coming out of the pits actually. Speaking of pit stops, who has made their first stops? We've got Furball and Darian making their first stops. Obviously due to damage earlier on in the race, which can't be helped really. And who will a Ferrari end up winning? Because that's the first time, well, the first time on this circuit, it was actually Ferrari that won. And he's all the way up in 6th. But we'll see. We've seen people like him make comebacks in these sort of races. So maybe it can work for him. We'll have to find out as the race goes on, of course. So we're heading to lap 6 now. Oh, we just passed lap 6. Hydra is falling way down the order as well, which is a bit of a shame. But I've just got the gaps now. Flash is giving, I think, helping. Is he either getting slipstream to his teammate, getting slipstream from his teammate, or they want to have a fight now? If you're a Red Bull fan, you wouldn't want to be fighting with you wouldn't want to see these two fighting with each other, because you do know how Nixana could get at times with him, with these drivers. As Rage Quit has left the session, that's not good. But here we go. We've got the battle that you may be hoping for, as a little bit squirmy, both of them actually, as we've got a runner into the pit again. Who's that? That is Darian making his second stop. Fair play for him not giving up though. That is great to see. As quite a few people on the hards earlier on, those two will be obviously going for the softs at the end. Will that strategy pay off? We'll see. Bird seems to be not doing too bad, but he's dropping back from the soft runners. But he's pulling away from the likes of Sig and Pazik, who is also on the hard compounder tyres. No cloud in the sky at the moment, so it looks like it's going to stay like this for the whole race. Don't forget that these drivers are on reduced damage. So reduced damage, it means that obviously they won't get as damaged that much in the races. So Jay has decreased the gap just a little bit more by a bit of a tenth. And what I found around this circuit, around shorter circuits, because obviously Zandvoort is a lot harder to overtake than Austria. If the gap gets to around, let's say, 4 tenths, 3 tenths, then that could become a little bit of an issue. If it gets to 2 tenths, then that'll be better. You're more than likely gonna overtake the car. So that is what quite a few people are gonna be trying. And I think Jay had a bit of a mistake there. Meanwhile, I think the Hydra has gone up to 8 due to Rage Quit. Either Rage Quit was disconnecting, or he was having some issues. And as I speak about Ferrari, I think I've just commentators cursed him. That is not good. That is not good. Let me just check penalties actually. the status of penalties. I know it's early to check penalties, but I like checking penalties at the early stages of the race, as it can make or break, really, some people's races. So let's just see what Set is on. He's completely penalty-free, actually, whereas Pavel is on 1 penalty, so maybe Set could be ahead. TX is not having best luck right now. So you can see that the race is starting to get a little bit quiet at the moment, but just watch when it comes to the pit stops. They want to be ahead in terms of the pit stop strategy. And if I was Nixana and Flash, maybe the guy that's stuck in traffic should pit to get the undercut, or maybe they would take priority and let the guy ahead pit first. But we'll see. But usually I would pit if I was stuck in traffic. That's what I would do. Otherwise you'll lose so much time. And they've got to commit to the pit entry, really. Otherwise they'll lose so much time. But look, we got the Red Bull trying to commit to a move on his teammate. Nixana holding on to a very good line, is almost brake checking Flash there. That's not what you want, as Pavel goes into the pits for his first stop. A bit earlier than I thought, I think, as he's going for the undercut. So hopefully he won't get in puncture territory, as TX goes past Rage Quit again. And so does Sig. I don't think you're allowed to join the session, I'm not entirely sure. I will need to double check with, obviously, the league admins on that front, on whether you're allowed to join back in the session or not. We shall see. But due to the fact that the people like Pavel is pitted, will the guys in front respond? If I was Bitto, probably not. But if I was Jay, maybe. Maybe Jay will be pitting next lap, a lap earlier. So he's a guy that can get those tyres, hard tyres, to the end pretty comfortably with his setup. So I think that is what he's going to try and do almost certainly today. And he's 1.5, so I think he will benefit from pitting, being obviously on the fresher rubber, and the lap times will probably be better on the hards than older softs, for example. But can't you see, we can see Set really catching up to these guys at the moment. With the two teammates squabbling, it's allowing Set to really catch up. And that's what I found on this game more than anything. The more that you keep battling and giving each other slipstreams, the more that the people ahead of you are gonna, behind you, are gonna benefit. So that is gonna cost some people more than anything. So Set is probably gonna sit back now. But here comes Flash going for the move again. Will any one of those people decide to pit? And as Jay says that, Jay is in the pits. So either someone else who's Jay's friend is watching my stream, or he can read my mind. Flash is pitting, I think, next lap, whereas Nixana is also going for the undercut. So again, I think they're taking the guy that's in front a priority. So I wonder how these two are going to do. Will Nixana be ahead of his teammate? We will have to find out as the session goes on, of course. So Nixana goes ahead of Pavel at the moment. So we'll see how more beneficial fresher hards are than older hards. Hazek is doing well getting his tyres up to temperature. He hasn't been involved in any spins yet. Touch wood. He's been absolutely fine on the spin front. Which is good. You know, you don't want to be involved in spins. And that's what's helping him stay where he is. And what positions has he gained? He's gained 4 positions since the start of this race, which is better than what he did last week, I've got to say. So well done to him. Bitto is in the pits now. Well, of course he is. He's got to respond to Jay, but he'll be on fresher tyres at the end. So this will make the battle very interesting. So onto the hards he goes. Let's see where Jay is. I think Bitto is just going to come out just ahead, I think. I'm almost certain, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. Yes, Oh, it is going to be quite close. Let's see what the gap is. The gap is 8 tenths. So Jay's pulled back just a little bit. And Bitto's going to spend probably a lap or so warming up the tyres as well. So we shall see. Maybe Jay has the upper hand. We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe Bitto could use this as extra motivation being ahead. And meanwhile, Nick Zana is ahead of Flash. Obviously, Flash pitted at exactly the same time as Bitto. The only ones still yet to stop are Set, Berg, TX, Sig, and Pazik. Those are the only ones still yet to make their pit stops. Everybody else has made at least one stop. Obviously, a few people like Darian, like Indistinctive, like Furball will need to pit again. As we're seeing the view of the near the Audi section, which is really good actually, heading towards turn 14 and 15, loving it. As Set is going to be the last of the leading bunch to pit. That will push Burke up to third, and that means Bitter and Jay are your race leaders at the moment. So where's Set going to come out in all this? I think he's going to go in the hards as well. Ooh, I think that is interesting. Set is going on to the medium tyres. So he's committed to the 2-stop. Meanwhile, Flash is getting held up by Pazik. And that's not what you want. You've got to nail the traffic really well around this circuit. And especially with Zandvoort being a very hard track to overtake. You don't want to be stuck behind someone. Definitely not in this situation. So that is something we'll just have to keep a watchful eye on. As the DRS flap is open for Flash, so this could be his chance. This could be his opportunity. Ooh, that was a lock up, and they touch wheels. I think Flash got a bit angry there, and he almost hit Set as well. I think you got to make sure you forget your negative mindset at this stage. And I think Flash is just not doing that. So Set managed to get past Pazik all right, but not Flash. So Flash is thinking, why has Set gone past and I haven't? Maybe because Set is on the mediums, but Flash knows that Set has to pit again, because he'll probably ask. Now I wonder if Flash is going to try and go for the lunge. This is interesting mind games that these guys are playing at the moment in terms of strategy. Obviously it is quite difficult, as Pavel is getting a 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings. As Flash trying to do the cutback here on... Oh, as Pazik made a mistake. Flash can't afford to go for these aggressive moves now, as the number 2 driver and the number 50 driver, as Flash finally gets past, but he's already lost a chunk of time to his teammate. And that is not what you want. That is not what you want at these late stages. So that is going to be an issue as Pazik tries to get past again. I'm shocked, actually, that they're still doing this. I mean, Pazic's trying to go for the move. You can't really be fighting because you're on older hard. You've got to pit pretty soon. So why are you challenging for the move? If I were you, I would just concentrate on your own race. Maybe concentrate on your pit window, which will be happening in about 10 laps time. Not fighting ones that are going to be on different strategies, and they're going to be ahead of you anyway when you get to the pit stops. Because you're going to get held up. They're going to get held up. You're going to lose a chunk of time. You're going to lose more positions because of it. Because Pavel's right behind this chunk now. And Hydra and TX could come into this bunch soon as well. And TX, the other person, also on the medium tyres. Obviously, he had damage earlier on, so that's why he probably had to pit earlier as well. Sig is on the hards as well, but I think he's having no challenge with Set. as he lets past Set. Now, if you were Jeff in this situation, what would you do if you were the engineer? Would you ask Pazik to let the guy behind on a different strategy through, or will you fight for it? It's a tough call, a really tough call. But it's up to these drivers, of course. We got a yellow flag, that's at AlphaTauri, and that's Burke. He was running so well, and that was almost an unsafe rejoin. Burke's definitely going to get that 10-second time penalty removed, that's for sure. I'm almost certain he's going to get that removed. As Flash and Burke is still having a battle. And lock up from him. Burke's got to... I think Burke has got to think about a different strategy at the moment. He can't afford to be on those tires for too long, because he could run out really soon. Let me just look at the tyre wear on those hard compounded tyres. As yeah, Burke, I'm not surprised really. Burke goes into the pit lane. So, hard tyre length. Let me just have a look. If I scroll down to... Let me just scroll down to my notes actually I made around this circuit. As Burke has been held up quite a bit in the pit lane. That's not good. So, the hard tyres, they last, from what I've written down, 24 to 26 laps. So, and Burke's on the softs, and they only last 12 to 14 laps. So Burke definitely has to pit again. Surely he's made a big gamble. Or maybe he wants to go on another set of softs at the end and try and go for fastest lap. But we shall see, obviously, as the session starts to go on. As Niksana gets another penalty, that could affect him as Set is already closing in, of course. Set doing very well in his Mercedes car. Set more than likely going to be in Tier 2 again next season. Well, this season. This season starts next week in Australia, of course, in Albert Park. And he's running the full 22 race calendar. So, and I'm not entirely sure when the tiers are going to be announced. I will need to double check that. I think they get announced, at the weekend. Maybe Sunday, Monday. We'll see anyway. I will have to check with the admins on that one. If any of you admins are watching from ERS, can you tell me when you're announcing tiers? Probably when you've organised them. I think there's no set day at the moment. As someone's going very slowly, that is Pavel in the Alpha. Well, one of the Alphas, I need to distinguish between the two. The Alfa Romeos. There we go. So, he's having a bit of a spinneroonie at the moment. That is unfortunate. Penalty check for Niksana, because I think Niksana's got quite a bit. So, always Niksana is going to try and go for them, try and defend from Set, as Pavel has retired from the session. Looks like turn 12, well 13 by the looks of things. Yeah, turn 13. The Audi section by the looks of things. I'm surprised it hasn't called a safety car, but obviously we can't see the damage. So, race director for Niksana, penalty-wise. Oh, he's only got one penalty. He's only got one penalty, which, from an Niksana standard, I mean, you know, that is not too bad. So, you know, fair play to Niksana. Fair play. I think most of these guys are keeping it on the clean levels at this stage. So well done to all of these guys for doing, obviously, a marvellous job in that front. As here we go, Sig trying to do another move again on Flash. Sig doing exactly the same thing Pazik did about 5 or 6 laps to go. So that is, I think, something to be wary of, something to cast our mind of just a little bit. We've got the ghosted Renault of Darian, so I do believe Darian has been lapped. So the traffic is going to play a massive factor once again. And Bitto is just running a race of his own right now. 3.5 seconds separate between him and the second place man of Jay. So he's running really well. Oh, Bitto. And he wants to keep this up. Of course he does. He wants to. I'm not sure what tier most of these guys want actually. If they want either bottom tier or top tier or even middle tier. I do believe there's going to be 4 tiers, I believe. As I think there's pretty much not much happening on the track at the moment. I think most of these guys are just running their own races, which is fair enough. I mean, that's what you would expect around Zandvoort. And you got to have pure skill to overtake around Zandvoort. Turn 1 and then turn 12. I think that's it. Verbal just got a 3-second time penalty as well. And Flash has got a comfortable gap behind him now. So he can just concentrate on running his own race too. Which I think probably is going to be a relief for him. So who have you been rooting for in the chat? Please let me know. Who has been your driver that has surprised you? Who's been the driver that has nailed the strategy to perfection? I've got to say, Bitto has gained 1 position from the start, but I've got to say, the likes of Sig and Pazik, obviously they're still yet to pit, but the likes of Hydrodan doing his best to try and make those tyres last and hitting at a gamble strategy. He's in 8th place at the moment. So that is going to be very interesting for the Ferrari. And something to watch a little bit closely for the Ferrari, I have to say. And obviously he would want to be running the number 16 car, but he can't, so that's why he's running the number 15 car. So that is why he is doing that. And what's your favourite number in the game as well? That's what I like to know. And I literally can't. Always TX has left. Another guy that's left the session in the Ferrari. So I swear I keep giving commentators curses to Ferrari drivers. That is frustrating that I do that. But I should stop talking about bad things to Ferrari drivers because that happens. So there we go. So it is a shame that for them. 30 laps to go. Penalties could decide certain aspects of this race. And certain corners to watch out for that probably a lot of people are making mistakes is around, I think, about turn 6. Because only the slightest of touches on the brakes is required. If you hit the brakes too much, you'll lock up. And that is, to be honest, not the best of ideas. And there is a gravel trap around turn 6, which is why quite a few people are getting caught up by that. So that is why that is happening. And also I would say turn 7 and 8 as well. Yeah, definitely turn 7 and 8. Where we've seen quite a few incidents earlier on today. As Pazik is going into the pits for his final stop. It's almost certainly going to be the softs. Unfortunately, Sig can't go in yet because obviously his teammate is. And you can see the red pit banner thing, and obviously that means that they will have to wait just a little bit. Unfortunately, you can't double stack on this game, which is something that I find quite annoying, actually. It's not good, I have to say. I mean, I hate that they've not done that, but I think it would have to take, I think, a miracle from Codemasters to actually pull off a great, a great strategy like that on this game. Maybe something for 2021. I know F1 2021 is further down the line yet, but maybe if the developers are watching, maybe try and implement some double stacking potentially. We shall see as Sig goes into the pits. I think their teammates will be closing up to each other. I'm almost certain that will happen anyway. So there goes Sig out of the pit lane. So into the soft he goes. Now, Bert will need to pit again, surely, unless he's got a strategy where he's saving tyre wear. But he's still pushing, though. He's still pushing, so I'm a bit worried that he's locking up. So his tyres are already starting to die. And he may be in danger of losing points here. As Hasek is catching up by the dozen at the moment. So that is a bit of a worry for him. As unless Bitto absolutely bottles it, I think obviously Bitto is going to be winning this race. Because Bitto has been controlling this race from the very start. He's been doing absolute wonders to make sure that his obviously race start is controlled more than anything else. And he's already saying a faster set to 1. He's still pushing, even though he's in the lead. I think he wants to cover it off himself, just in case he gets penalties, which, in a way, is fair enough. Have we got Sig and TX going for the move? Obviously, TX is AI, the TX bot, I gotta say. But shame about TX right now, but what can you do for TX at this moment in time? As Nice gets a 3-second time penalty. There we go. Bitto 1:11.5. That is a pretty good lap time. Pretty good race lap time for Bitto. That is very, very impressive. So good job for him on that. Nicely done from him, and wanted to make sure that he's keeping that, really. And all these races, obviously, the stewards and the admins will be looking at a closer look. Maybe the final race in Zandvoort will give much more of an idea of where these drivers will be placed. And some of you may ask, well, what's your prediction? It might be a prediction that I won't even know. It could be so close. But we will see. Get your predictions in anyway. Who you think is going to be in what tier. You may be watching the other streams at exactly the same time. So, yeah, there we go. And just a quick reminder as well for the drivers that I'm still been keeping a close eye on. Reset to track is not allowed. If they do it, then they are going to run into quite a few issues from the drivers, I've got to say, as Nixana goes off just a little bit. That's not good for him, but there we go. And I think now pressure's going to be on the ones that are on differing strategies. Flash on Set. Set will, if Set makes that strategy work, that medium to soft strategy work, then I've got to say, then that'll be one of the best strategies I've seen in quite a long time. As Alexander gets a time penalty, that could affect his race, as Set is now 2.1 seconds behind, but surely Set would want to stay out now. He just wants to make sure that he gets his tyres to the end of the race. And a bit of slipstream is being given, so I think that's going to help Flash. 3 tenths, I think, is the minimum. You've got to stay behind. 2 tenths, 1 tenth. If it's more than 4 tenths, then we've seen earlier on that's going to be a slight disadvantage, as Set's going to take the shortest line possible. Here comes Flash. Right hand side. Lock up from Set. This could be Flash's opportunity. We did see someone go off. That was a Williams, but I didn't see which Williams it was. It may be someone's AI. Actually, no, it was Nice, because Nice is the only one that is still out, who is not a bot, if that makes sense. And who's gonna probably potentially get the podium between Set and Alexander? I think the top 2 are pretty much gonna be the same, almost certainly, as Flash is going to try and go for a move once again on Set. Here he goes, DRS activated for Flash. He's going to take the inside, taking the shortest run possible. He's going to move to the outside, but look at Set, so committed on the switchback here as we go through the Audi section. I think Flash knows that he's a bit faster than Set. I would like to see the lap times, but we'll have to find out, of course, as the session goes on. Here comes Flash. Some really hard but fair racing from the pair of them, I've got to say. So well done. Well done to both of them. There is a warning light from Flash's fuel, so I think he's been told by his engineer that he needs to save fuel right now, because otherwise he would be in absolute danger at the moment. And that is not where you want to be as a driver. You wouldn't not want to be in the danger zone. If you're in the danger zone, then you're pretty much screwed for all eternity right now. But it happens sometimes, it happens. And these guys have got a few more laps to make sure that they get the best lap possible, as Verbal goes into the pits for his final stop. Again, I was expecting him to pit again. He is going to challenge for the fastest lap. Only people from inside the top 10 will be allowed to obviously go for the fastest lap. So the ones inside the top 10, they're going to hope that they can beat potentially Verbal. The fastest lap at the moment, let me just check. Fastest lap, I'm looking at the wrong data. There we go. Fastest lap is set by Bito still on the hards. 1:11.5. So I wonder if Paddock's going to beat that. He's going to get slipstream from Burke anyway. 1:12.1. He was purple last sector though. So that slipstream definitely helped him. Here he goes on the fresher tyres than Burke. Don't forget, Burke pitted a lot earlier than intended. One more lap and then Burke is going to be on puncture territory. And that is not where you want to be. Puncture territory, just no. 1:11.2 set by Bitto at the moment. He is going quicker and quicker and quicker. And if you were probably going to be in the same tier as him, I'll be worried. I probably would like to look at the tier 1 lap times as well. See where the race time compares from that. Because I wonder if that's changed ever so slightly. But we'll have to find out, of course, as Hydra comes across the line. 4 more laps to go, of course. I'm surprised Bitto is using more ERS actually, but I'm guessing he wants to get that extra point. He wants to show that obviously he's one of the best around here, which is fair enough, you know. He wants to be the best out of everyone. As Burke has gone into the pits too. I'm not really that surprised because those tyres were nowhere going to make it to the end. I wonder, actually, if he had a puncher from that. But that is something I will keep a close eye on at some point. A bit of a lockup from him though, but he can go for fastest lap too. He can, he's in the top 10. So he can steal the extra point from Bitto. So 107. Oh, Darian. Is that his AI or I don't even know. But Darian has set the fastest lap away from Bitto, so Bitto's going to be probably thinking, oh great, I thought I had fastest lap in the bag, but obviously not. But there we go. That's what I like about fastest lap on this game. If only they had a fastest lap point outside the top 10 as well, that would be, I think, a lot better, I would say. But unfortunately, that is something that Cody's is probably not going to implement. But it just makes it more exciting. As a racing point has gone off. Who's that? That was Paddock. Don't forget, he's been on those tyres for 8 laps now. And probably his tyre temperatures are a little bit through the roof at the moment. So that's probably why he is struggling just a tiny bit. But, you know, it happens. It happens. And Jay is pitted. I'm a bit shocked about that. But I'm guessing he's got the gap. He knows he's not going to win the race. So he thought, you know, he could still go for fastest lap. Which, you know, I thought... So the gap is 7 seconds. And obviously he had a comfortable gap to Flash. So, you know, he wants to steal that extra point away from anyone. So, and if he's a guy... Obviously he got Cole today. So if he's the guy to get the fast lap, it could be him. So he could almost get the hat trick. But obviously Bitto will take the win. As Bitto is about to start the final lap of this race. Bitto has driven absolutely phenomenal. And I love Bitto's helmet style. Bitto's helmet is really cool, I've got to say. Nicely done. I will do a helmet overview, I think, next week, when we get to the first round of the season. So the guys who are in tier 2, you know, they've got to get their helmet designs worked on, maybe. We shall see. As look at the gap now between Ixana and Set. That could be the defining factor. I think Set's going to be ahead of him anyway, because Set has no penalties, I believe. Set's keeping it absolutely clean. So Ixana is going to try and try and get rid of that deficit, really. Because he doesn't want that deficit at all. I definitely don't want that deficit. Ixana's running out of fuel. But I think that's going to say that for everyone. As everyone has been pushing their fuel to the absolute limit here. But here we go. We're going to ride on board with our leader. He didn't get Cole, but he got the points where it mattered. Here comes Bitto. He takes the win on track. Well done to him. A well-deserving one at that. He got those tyres through 23 laps. Almost at full capacity. And we're going to see if Jay's going to get fastest lap today. We'll see. I didn't see what his time was in sector 2. And he does get fastest lap. 1:10.3. So, I think the only people that can beat him is Burke and Pazik. But we'll see. We'll find out. Flash comes across the line in 3rd. Darian, unfortunately, retires from the session. And Set, fair play. Fair play. P3. He overtakes both the Red Bulls due to penalties. And he's made that softer medium strategy work. But, does he have a puncher? Does he have a puncher? Did he have a puncher? No, he didn't. Fair play. But I'm guessing he had that nice buffer so he could afford that. And Paddock comes across the line in 8th. He was struggling there. And we're just waiting for TX to cross the line because everyone else is a lap down. So, here we go. And Burke, P-Tam. I'm not sure if Burke's got fastest lap though. We shall see. I think it's Jay still. So Jay gets 19 points. Hydrodan gets driver of the day on the screen. But I don't know who to give driver of the day to. I am thinking of probably giving it to the winner due to the fact that his pace was just so dominant all race. After like lap 3 and lap 4, he was just... Or even after lap 5 and 6, he was just out of everyone's range, really. And also have to give it to Set as well for making the soft to medium strategy work. So here we go. Here's your result. Bitto taking the win, and it can confirm Jay does get the fastest lap. Set 3rd, Flash 4th, Nixana 5th, Sig in 6th, was Tongue Twister, Hydra 7th, Paddock 8th, TX 9th, and Burke in 10th. Then we got Rage Quit, Verbal, Indistinctive, Nice, and then your retirements, Darian, Pavel, and Ace. So that has been the final test race for the Dutch Grand Prix. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was a lot of fun, I've got to say. And I'm going to be rating someone in a second. So, which is going to be a good thing. So, whilst I do that, I will see you soon for another stream. Thank you for watching. And I'll be commentating Tier 2 next season. Well, this season, next week, 7 PM, same time, around Australia. Who's going to be the 20 drivers I get to commentate on? We'll have to find out. Have a good evening, everybody. See you soon. And make sure you join in on the raid as well once I get the Twitch name. Bye!